In this module, we will look at lexical analysis. The objective is to learn what is meant by lexical analysis and what are the types of tokens in Java. So lexical analysis is the process of converting the high-level program into a sequence of tokens. It is the first phase of the compiler. A lexical token is a sequence of characters that can be treated as a unit in the grammar and vocabulary of the programming language. Below are the types of lexical tokens in Java: whitespace, identifiers, literals, comments, operators, separators, and keywords. Let's take a look at each of these tokens in detail. Whitespace. Java is a free-form language, meaning no special indentation rules need to be followed. Indentation, although not compulsory, needs to be followed for better readability of the code. All the below forms are valid. Example 1, the entire class is written in a single line. Although this is a small class just for demonstration purposes, you can still go ahead and write it on a single line and it will be compiled and run successfully. The second example, there is more than one space between each word. And this is also completely valid, will be compiled and executed successfully. The third example is a classic case where it is properly indented. There is exactly one white space in between the words. This is the standard that needs to be followed in professional Java programming. A point to note and remember here is there should be at least one white space character between each token, not already delineated by an operator or separator. That is, take a look at this below example. There has to be one white space between public and class for this program to be valid. And similarly, there should be at least one white space between public, static, void words. In Java, white space may be a space, tab, or new line character. Identifiers. Identifiers are used to name a class, method, or variable. An identifier can be any descriptive sequence of uppercase, lowercase letters, numbers, underscore, and $sign characters. Must not begin with a number. Examples, we have both the valid identifiers and invalid identifiers provided in this example. For example, you can see $test, which is a valid identifier because it starts with a $sign, and $sign character is accepted as a valid identifier. Whereas in the invalid, we see an identifier which starts with 2, count. This is not accepted. High-temp is also not acceptable. Not/OK is also not acceptable. Literals. A constant value is created using a literal representation of it. For example, 100 is an integer. 98.6, the constant value is a floating point. Character constant X within the single quotes, and the string, this is a test within double quotes. So these are the literals. Comments. There are three types of comments in Java: single line, multi-line, and documentation. A single line comment starts with 2 forward slashes. A multi-line comment starts with forward slash followed by an asterisk and ends with an asterisk followed by a forward slash. A documentation starts with a forward slash followed by 2 asterisks and ends with a single asterisk and a forward slash. Separators. A few characters are used as separators, which we will look at in the next slide. Semicolon is the most commonly used separator. It is used to terminate statements. So we have a list of separators with their purpose. Like the parentheses are used to contain list of parameters in the method definition and invocation. Also used for defining precedence in expressions, containing expressions in control statements, as we have already seen, and surrounding cast types, which we will see later. The braces used to contain the values of automatically initialized arrays, also used to define a block of code, as we have seen, for classes, methods, and local scopes. Brackets used to declare array types, also used when dereferencing array values. Semicolon terminates statements. Comma separates Consecutive identifiers in a variable declaration, also used to chain statements together inside a for statement. Period, used to separate package names from sub-packages and classes, also used to separate a variable or a method from a reference variable. Keywords. There are about 50 keywords currently defined in Java. These keywords cannot be used as names for a variable, method, or class. Here are a few which have been listed, like abstract, assert, boolean, int, implements, extends, public, private, so on and so forth. Continuing with keywords, const and goto are reserved but not used. In addition to the keywords, Java reserves true, false, and null. These are the values defined by Java. You should not use these words for names of variables, methods, and classes. To summarize, we have learned that lexical analysis is converting characters in a language into tokens. Categories of tokens in Java, like the white space, identifiers, literals, separators, keywords, and comments. We've learned how white space is treated as a delimiter in a statement, how identifiers are used to name the class, method, etc., how to write a single line, multi-line, and documentation comment, how to write constant values, literals, the different separators used like comma to end a statement, the reserved keywords which cannot be used to name a class, method, or variable.